Hello, my name is Barbara Teckel, and I am the author of the Frankie the Walk and Roll Dog book series. Our first book was Frankie the Walk and Roll Dog, and I always say our because if it wasn't for this little dog in my arms, who is Frankie, I probably would have never become a children's book writer. So it's because of her, who's my inspiration each and every day, is the reason that I now have two children's books. And what I wanted to talk to you about today is my newest book, which is called Frankie the Walk and Roll Therapy Dog Visits Libby's House. And Libby's house is actually a senior assisted facility where most of the residents have Alzheimer's or dementia. And I was so inspired by one man in particular when Frankie and I first started our therapy dog work that I decided I really needed to write this children's book, again, through Frankie's eyes, through her point of view, to hopefully help children understand the aging process and what their grandparents may be experiencing and going through. And the book also deals with helping children understanding that we make friends and we lose friends, but we can make friends once again. So as I said, this book was actually inspired by a man that I call Daniel in the book. And he was just the sweetest man and just loved Frankie's visit. So I just want to share a portion of the book with you. About our visits to Libby's house and about Daniel. So a man sitting in the recliner notices me and smiles the biggest smile I've ever seen. "What do we have here?" he says. "I adore dogs." "This is Frankie," Patty says as she winks at Daniel. "I have a feeling you two will become fast friends." I overhear Patty telling my mom that Daniel is in his early 70s. But that does not stop him from getting down on his hands and knees to pet me. Daniel gives me a big hug and kisses the top of my head. "You are the cutest little dog I have ever seen," he says. Mom hands Daniel my pink leash. "Would you like to take Frankie for a walk?" Daniel nods enthusiastically as he takes my leash. He seems to have an extra bounce in his step as we jubilantly move down the hallway. A few moments later, we return to the living room and Daniel eases his way into the couch. Mom says, "Would you like Frankie to sit on your lap, Daniel?" "You bet I would." Mom lifts me onto Daniel's lap. "You are so special, Frankie," he says. I look up at him and notice his eyes are filling with tears. "I feel so sorry for her," Daniel says sadly. "You don't need to feel sorry for Frankie," Mom says. "Visiting you makes her very happy." "It does?" Daniel holds me close. "Frankie is perfect, unlike me." "I am not perfect." Daniel's voice cracks. "We think you are perfect just the way you are." Mom tries to reassure Daniel. I rest my head on his knee and raise my eyebrows. Daniel smiles and his whole face lights up. The nurse comes into the room. "Time to take your medication, Daniel," she says. She holds his arm and helps him up from the couch. He glances down at me one more time. "Please come visit me again, Frankie." "Arf!" I let out a soft bark as the nurse and Daniel walk to the kitchen. My mom and Patty sit down. "Daniel used to be a policeman and was a crime scene investigator," Patty says. "Most days he sits in his room listening to the radio. Daniel loves to sing." Patty and my mom both smile. So I was really inspired by Daniel as well as many of the other residents that Frankie and I met there that we talk about in our newest book. So I do invite you to check it out and to purchase a copy for your kids today, and it's a great story for grandparents as well to share with their children. So thank you so much, and as Frankie always says, always be positive, make a difference, and keep on rolling.